You are the writer of your own life story. We're here on a journey to uncover the secrets of living with favor. And favor is an acronym of the 5 key principles I've discovered and experienced over the last 40 years as an entrepreneur. In fact, I'm celebrating 40 years this September. And so I was, at the beginning of the year, I was setting goals and trying to figure out what's next for me. And I thought, how do I take everything I've learned and put it under one umbrella, one concept that I want to share with folks. So I've taken my digital marketing, the health and wellness training and teaching, and one-to-one experience that I've had, and have compiled it into this idea of living with favor, and developed an accountability or an unstuck group mastermind, if you will, for women to dig deeper and discover what it is that makes them tick, what gives them the life that they want. And so FAVOR is really an acronym. It stands for abundance, vitality, overflow, and relationships. So each week I share how, over these past 40 years, I've experienced those 5 principles and how I take those to move forward. Maybe those 5 principles aren't exactly the right ones for you, but as we dig deeper, maybe they are. So I encourage you to, join us each week as we dive deeper. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes I have an expert guest who I get to pick their brain and go deeper with what it is that they've learned over their years in business. But every once in a while, I just have to get on here and speak from the heart and kind of share what has been on my mind, what I've been contemplating after listening to so many different experts. So the promise of this show is really to introduce you to my expert friends and offer simple solutions and maybe sometimes just a bit of advice. I'm Lisa Mosbey. I'm the host of Living with Favor, and I'm here to fulfill my purpose to advise and train and come alongside you with simple solutions for life and business. This week, I'm actually sharing a training clip from our accountability community. It's called Review and Write the Next Chapter of Your Story. And so if you want to grab a piece of paper, a pencil, come along with us on this journey and see what you might discover about the next chapter, what's coming for you in the future. We're coming into June, the last month of this first half of 2023. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this or the recording, but as we close out the first half, how do we want to finish strong? What's the next chapter for the next month, next quarter, the rest of the year? So wherever you are in the time of the year that you're listening to this, what would that next chapter be? Is it a quarter? Is it a year? Is it just this week? How would this apply for you? So as we look back and review where we've been, it helps us to create a clearer picture of where we want to go. An airplane flying from one destination to another is off course 90%, some say as much as 97% of the time. When we reflect back, we can see if we're still on the right course. That plane has to constantly adjust and course correct. Have you course corrected lately? Is what you're doing the best that you can do to serve the world? Are there little tweaks that need to happen within your business to just up level it, to be more impactful? I don't know what the words are for you, but I want you to tie into this idea of how can we reflect back, create clarity, confirm that we're still on the right path or the right journey. We have a limited amount of time here. And so we need to take that time and use it to the best of our ability. But if we never reflect, if we just keep going day to day, we keep trouncing along, we may not end up where we want to. If a plane is leaving Hawaii and they're only 1% off course, on their journey to Minnesota, they may not even be in this country when they land. If they're off 1%, throughout that entire journey, their destination is going to be a lot different than when they take off. So the same is true for us and our businesses, or even our personal lives. Where are we at within our personal lives? Are we living our bucket list? I use the term bucket list life. I have a Facebook page where I kind of put my travel adventures on at Lisa Mosbey Living Your Bucket List. And I do that mostly for me, not really to share. I don't really invite people. Some people have found it and followed it, but it's for me because I love annually how Facebook pops up those pictures and it shows, here's where you were a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 years ago. It keeps pace for me. It shows me that I've been living my bucket list life. If no pictures are popping up, I'm going, I need to get out there and have an adventure. So I like that term, living my bucket list life. I mean, why not? Our days are going to go by anyway. Do you want to just stay stuck? Or do you actually want to get out there and live an adventurous life? And adventure is different for some people, different for everybody. For me, adventure includes travel. It includes birthing a new business, a new concept, a new idea. Adventure for some might be mom. My niece has 10 kids. I have 10 great nieces and nephews. Boy, talk about an adventure. Every minute of every day is an adventure when you have a family like that. So whether it's your family, your business, your recreational life, what is your bucket list life? Bucket list life can be more than just a bucket list that you wait to accomplish before the end of your life. It can be the day-to-day way that you're living your life. Every day can be a bucket list life if we put thought into it. If we don't even know what we enjoy doing, if we don't discover the adventures that we want to have in the different arenas of our life, how do we know how do we qualify it? If we don't track it, how do we know if it's successful? Just by our feeling, how we're feeling? Yeah, that's one way, but we can maybe get a little bit more accurate picture if we start to track what it is that we're doing, set some intentions, goals, outcomes that we would like to achieve, and then watch that progression. Make sure that the course is headed in that direction if that's what we truly want. And I understand, many of us are people of faith who watch this show, and God has a decision in there. God is in charge of our life as well. He's given us a purpose or given us gifts that we can use along the way. And so taking those things into consideration as well, when we're plotting and planning our journey and heading in a certain direction for an outcome, is it in alignment with us? Is it in alignment with our faith? Is it in alignment with our families so that we go together? These are all questions to be answered as we reflect back and begin to write the next chapter. When we plan ahead, there's that saying, if a plan to failure is a failure to plan. When we plan ahead, when we start to hold some of those intentions and outcomes for us, we notice if things are working or if things are not working. And that's when we can make those course corrections. We can make small little changes rather than waiting for molehills to turn into mountains and become difficult to move through. So this is our shot to have an amazing adventure. So how are we going to do that? Are you having ambitious dreams? Do you have stretch goals, or is it, just the minimum? Do you just get by in just the minimum? So I would encourage you, you've got that paper and pencil in front of you. What are those ambitious dreams that you're having? What are the thoughts that come into your head when you think of something that you would like to change? If you're considering what you want to be, I want you to consider what you want to say when you're 80 years old and you're sitting on the porch reflecting on the experiences you've had in your life. Or when you're sitting there and your grandkids or your great nieces and nephews are sitting at your feet wondering, what are the adventures that you've had in your life? I get to tell stories of the 23 countries that I've visited, and the kids are in awe of that. But more importantly, it's not about me. It's about expanding their growth mindset to think of, I want to go to Paris. I want to go to New York. I want to go to Bora Bora. I want to go to wherever, creating that adventure for them. They see me working hard. They've been in and, on Zooms and interrupted, or they'll sit at the door. I've had some of them come in my room, my office, and they'll sit and listen to me while I'm on Zoom, and they'll ask questions. We are role models. Somebody is always looking at you. What do you want them to see? Successful people aren't necessarily the smartest or most highly educated. They are brave enough to own what they want to make a plan for their life, for their next 6 months, their next 2 years, their next 10 years. They are people who get specific about their goals, how and when they will make them happen. They make the commitment to themselves and what it is they want. Are you capable of doing all of that? You are, don't hesitate, you are. And I say that you are capable of that because you already know it's in you. We have the desires in us. We all have desires, but have you ever written them down? Have you ever put a time frame to it? Have you thought about the steps it would take in order to reach that goal? I will let you in on a little secret. There's this thing called the reticular activating system. And when we want to go buy a car, I'm going to use an example. When we want to go buy a car, I drive an orange Jeep, a little Jeep Renegade. And I bought that car because I wanted to pull it behind an RV, because someday I wanted to have the experience of living in an RV for a year and driving across the country. Well, I bought the Jeep. And then I bought a tent. So instead of doing an RV, I have a tent, and I've done that the last couple of years. You know, I've lived out of my car for 3 or 4 months the last couple of years, just seeing the country, visiting, you know, doing thousands of miles, visiting many, many states, and camping, or, you know, couch surfing or hoteling my way across the country. The RV hasn't happened yet, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. I just found this to be more convenient. The real truth is I test drove an RV, and I was like a little 16-year-old kid bouncing off the lines, you know, brand new to driving, and it was very uncomfortable to drive that big rig. So I thought, I might not be ready for that as a single person, but if I had somebody to travel with who, you know, was there doing the directions, and I could just focus on the driving, or they drove and I could help with the narration, maybe I would do it. But I found an easier method. Anyway, side note. But when I went to go buy that Jeep, I was looking at them, and it wasn't until I drove that Jeep off the lot that I started to see them everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh, the whole world drives that kind of vehicle now. I see them everywhere. I see all the different colors. I wonder if I made the best choice and picked the right color. But that's the part of our brain that is always conspiring to make things happen for us. Our reticular activating system prioritizes those things that we start to notice, that we acknowledge, that we set outcomes and goals for. It will prioritize it and cause our brain to see and notice things that were always there, but we didn't pay attention to because it was not a priority. So the idea here is you have these goals, dreams, and desires of what you want your life to look like. When they become a priority, when you write them down and you start to come up with a plan around it, more plan ideas come into your brain. Like awarenesses that the subconscious have made will come to that conscious mind to help us fulfill those dreams and desires. But we do have to make an effort. The brain has to know that it's a priority. So how do we make it a priority? We acknowledge it every day. You know, many of us have heard of the words affirmations. Well, the reason that we use affirmations is because it tells the brain the things that we're affirming, these are our priorities. We can do that same thing with our intentions, our dreams, our goals, you know, the desires that we have for our life. They can be weight loss, they can be, you know, loving relationships, they can be monetary, you know, financial, growing a business, opportunities arising. It can be anything that you want, but the idea is to discover and get clear on what you want that outcome to be. In addition to figuring out what those outcomes are, we might need to do a little investing in ourselves. You know, what skills and tools do we need? What if we made ourselves and our dreams and desires the priority? You know, how do we make ourselves a priority in our life? We don't always do that. We make other people a priority, what their needs are, especially parents. You know, it's about our kids and what the priority is for them. But your days are passing just like theirs. And though they are a priority in your life, and you may need to make sure they have food and shelter and, you know, proper upbringing and mindset and social graces, all of those things are very important. And so is you accomplishing the purpose that you were sent here for. Successful people think strategically about how they are living and where they are heading. Always. It's on the forefront of their mind. They're always thinking about it. They're always planning for those next chapters in their life. So that's what I'm encouraging for you, or encouraging you to do today, is take time. Even if you say, for 10 minutes a day, I'm going to review and reflect, and maybe make a course correction. What is it that I want to do today? Successful people set deadlines. They consult experts who will support them in that success. Who is on your team? Who are the people that you've surrounded yourself with to make sure that you get that outcome that you desire? We have successful people on our team when we're raising children. Usually there's maybe grandma and grandpa, or sisters, aunties, uncles. We may have daycare facilities. We may have schools that we send the kids to. These are all people that are on our team to help us raise our children. So who are the people that are on your team to accomplish the goals that you've set for yourself, to help you to stay the course and be on purpose every day to live the vision that you have for your life? That is successful people create a vision. What does that vision look like? Is it more than just dreams and desires? Do you have a vision? Have you ever sat down with a piece of paper and written out, this is what my dream day would be like? For me, I love to travel. So my dream day is to completely be able to be portable. I can pop my notebook computer up in whatever hotel, country, city, place that I'm living. I can do my one-to-one meetings face-to-face with people over Zoom or another video service. I can have lunch in my hotel room, or I can meet people in whatever town I'm in at an interesting restaurant, discuss business there, do my phone calls from a park, or do my phone calls from a beautiful space somewhere around the world, and then get out and go for a hike and live in different communities to meet new people and discover different lifestyles the way that other people live. That's my dream day. May not be for everybody. Some people want to have a house and they want to be stationary and they want to have a beautiful picket fence and a gorgeous garden. I've had that and I enjoyed it, and maybe someday I'll do that again, but I'm just at a different stage in my life where I want some more freedoms for exploration of the vastness of this world. What is the vision that you have for your life? And then identify those blocks, because if you have that vision, why aren't you living it? Maybe you are, but if you're not, identifying the blocks and reviewing the progress that you're making on strides to live that vision, that bucket list life every day. Have you considered ways that you can learn, adapt, and grow with the resources that you have access to? A lot of times I hear people say, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. And what I've learned is that people always find the money and the time. If you are dedicated and you decide that this is truly something that you want, you will move something else off your plate. You will set aside the time, whether it's 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, an hour, 2 hours a day. There's something within your schedule that you could possibly eliminate. I always say that I'm too busy. And then when I say that, I was like, oh, please don't misinterpret that. I don't want someone to think that I don't have time for them, because really, truly, if something is important, I will make time for them. I will figure it out. I'll stay up later. I'll work into the evening and I'll make time for them when they are available. I know you do that. I know you do that with your kids. I know you can do that with your family. Can you do that with you? How do you make time to live out your dreams and your desires? So not only time, but money. If your child needed an operation and to save their life, if they needed an operation to save their life, you would go find the money. So I hate that we use money as an excuse, and it is really an excuse. I know some of you are saying right now, but you know what? I don't have enough money left at the end of my month. And I get that. Money is a struggle, but it's also a fixed mindset to think that there's not enough. There are investors, there are people out there that would love to partner with you, come alongside you, merge ecosystems. Who do you know that has friends or a big sphere of influence that can introduce you to people who create more customers for your business, therefore bringing in more revenue? This idea of a growth mindset where we expand our thinking. Don't think about just our resources, but our resources that have resources, the people in our lives that can introduce us to those that we need to meet. Sometimes we just rely on our immediate family or our immediate friends, but there are acquaintances. Everyone knows probably over 200 people. The number is that that each of us can influence up to 200 people. When we look at marketing statistics, it shows that we influence by sharing referrals to people, or sending people to products or services. When I tried something, I shared this with so-and-so, or I told so-and-so about it. But we have this trickle out effect of 200 people that through the web, the spider web that leads us to other people, we are connected most of the time to 200 people, which it's kind of astonishing. I mean, that sounds like a really big number, but if there's truth to that, even if there's not truth to that, what if it's just 10 people? What if it's 100 people, 50 people, whatever it is? Your sphere of influence connects you through this web of who they know and who they know and who they know. You're connected. You're the center point of this web that moves out from you. But if our brains have never thought about this, like that reticular activating system that is conspiring to, show us how to do things, to prove to us we made the right decision by showing me all the Jeeps that are out there and that this is a great purchase because lots of people drive this Jeep. Your reticular activating system will help you to find the people you need to be doing business with. It will help to find you the opportunities to create the income to live the desired life that you want. So expanding our mindset and opening that up to the possibility of what's out there can actually remove the block of money, because we can bring in the people that have the money, or we can partner with the people that have the money, or we can increase our sales, our product sales, or service sales by being introduced to that key person. The next right person comes along and life changes because you have more money. So I challenge you to expand if you're in a fixed mindset, if you don't believe that there's enough time or money, or maybe there's a different excuse that kind of comes to mind for you, they're real. I'm not saying that these are not real and true excuses. What I'm trying to do is encourage you to look beyond those excuses, whatever they are, whatever those blocks are that are in your life that are slowing the progression of where you want to go. Look at them differently. Use that powerful part of the brain to look at them in a different way. Try to get a view from 30,000 feet, or try to get a view from the backside, 180 degrees. You might need to get input from other folks to be able to do that, or get connected to a networking group. You're always invited to join this show. We always do a 30-minute question and answer period after every show that we do. Come on in here, ask questions of the experts, ask questions of me, get connected. I have a mastermind group, an accountability community, we call it, where you get support from other people so that you can expand your thinking. Because if you don't, who will? It's your life. What's the adventure that you want to live? Are you living optimally, your bucket list life? Do you jump out of bed in the morning excited for what you get to do today? If that's not the case, there are other options. That's all I want you to know today, is that there are other options. We can reflect, review, decide if this is where we want to be, and then, change the direction, change the course that we're on to get the outcome that it is that we want. Number 3 on this list is, are you prepared to do whatever it takes? Are you? We might have to get up earlier. We may have to stay up later. But if you truly want to live that bucket list life and take the steps to do that, are you prepared? The world is full of people who start stuff but never follow through. Successful people do what is required. They keep going even when it's hard and they don't want to. Don't wait. Don't give in, and commit to your plan. If you just take away one thing today, that is commit. The word I would love for you to take with you after this session today is commit. Commit to you living your bucket list life. Commit to you living the life of your dreams, of pursuing your vision, what it is that you want to tell your grandkids, or your grandkids when you're 80 years old? What is it that you want to look back and reflect on and share with them? Keep going, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to. Keep going. Don't wait. Don't give in, and commit to your plan. When your motivation has passed, because the new idea has faded, when your motivation has passed, the only thing that will keep you going is your commitment. When the commitment is strong enough and the line in the sand exists, there's no way to go back on it. It will be that commitment that keeps you going. So it's important to get clear on the why that you want to do this. Everybody talks about the why. So if you're not familiar with that concept, we can talk about that. But there's lots of resources. Simon Sinek is my favorite. He's my why master. I've read all of his books. I watch his TED Talks. I watch everything he ever does on YouTube. You can subscribe to his channel. I'm there. But he really helps us to get clear on that why. And when the why is crystal clear, it makes it a lot easier for us to keep moving forward, because we know why we're doing it. We know why we stay up late. We know why we won't take no for an answer. And we know why we want to do it. So we get clear on that, and then we make the commitment to ourselves to keep going. And of course, practice self-care along the way, because I'm not saying that you should stay up late every night or get up early every morning. You know, we do need rest in order to achieve our goals. We need healthy food. We need fitness. You know, there's some of there's about 10 of them that I talk about, the 10 keys to a healthy and fit life, sunshine and nutrition and exercise. So it's important to do all of those self-care pieces, but getting our mindset set for where we want to go and the vision that we want to have in our life, and committing to that for ourselves is kind of the determination that needs to happen. Find your tribe. You know, who are the people that you want to do this life with? Are you surrounding yourself with the people that lift you up, or do they bring you down? You are all welcome. You're all part of my tribe because you're watching this, but you're welcome to be even more engaged and intertwined with my tribe. If we're like-minded people, we'll do this life together. So find your tribe. Last one is get uncomfortable. You know, if you're living in your comfort zone, it's really difficult to make change. You know, if you want to be comfortable, it's hard to excel. It's hard to make the change, and hard to go after what it is that you want. So there's going to come a time when you're going to need to get uncomfortable, doing things that need to be done, making the phone calls, making the connections, talking to the people, asking for the sale, getting referrals. All of those are things that will make us uncomfortable, but they are necessary to achieve what it is that we want to achieve in our life. Don't let being uncomfortable stop you. Don't let your dreams pass you by because you were afraid to look back, reflect on where we've come from, get clear on where we want to go, and get uncomfortable to get there. You know, personal and professional success is yours for the taking. It's up to you. Only you can do it. There's nobody else that's going to do this for you. I hope this was a little bit motivating. I have so many more things that I want to talk about in this area, but I only have a short time to discuss it. So come on back at a later date. Show up, hang out with me for a half hour after the show. I'm here every week for a half hour, either with a guest or without, talking about these different topics. I think we might get into mission statements at some point. You know, our businesses and our jobs have mission statements, but how do we define our core values, our principles that we live by, like my favorite principles? And then what's the mission statement for our life? A mission statement helps us to stay steadfast. If I know my mission, it's easy for me to say no to the things that are not in alignment with it. That's where I'm going to leave it today. I hope you have a takeaway. I hope you liked the little bit of advice that I shared today. You know, the best part of living with favor is the conversation after the show. So I hope you have a little bit of time to linger longer after these shows. Come on live and linger longer to get your questions answered and find real solutions, maybe simple, real solutions to the things that are challenging you right now. I have a large sphere, being in business 40 years, I have a large sphere of people. I can connect you to people that can help you to give you the resources that you might need. And perhaps I have some of those resources as well. So my name is Lisa Mosbey. I am a holistic living expert. I am a digital marketing advisor. I work with people in the wellness field to get clear on their voice, to share it online, put that message out to the world through social media. I help you manage your online presence with websites, email campaigns, ebooks, and all of those marketing components that you need to run a successful business online. If you'd like to discuss your business, you can go to Lisa Mosbey, Mosbey, lisamosbey.com, and book a time, and we can chat more about your business. And I hope to see you sometime in the future on a live show. Thank you so much for being with me today.